So something happened on First Things First the other day, and I don't think a lot of people caught it. You know, sometimes when you let somebody talk long enough, they eventually tell on themselves when they lying, that is. Well, let's get into the video now. Explain.
What's your reaction to this?
All right. First of all, I respect it from Steph. I respect the honesty. I always prefer honest, even if it comes across as honest arrogance and false humility. And this isn't like wild. This isn't crazy for him to think this. I am.
He said it because LeBron has often called himself the GOAT. People called him out for it. And Nick champions LeBron is the GOAT. So, what people don't understand about this argument is it's the same argument as the LeBron Jordan debate, as the Curry Magic debate. It's the exact same debate. And he's conflicted. He used that bland little story to use as conflicted because of the blah, 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 blah. Because he picked Steph on, if Steph goes on the top 5 all-time teams, which is not the best point guard ever. He's conflicted because his argument for Magic Johnson is the same argument that's used for Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan has more accomplishments than LeBron James. Therefore, he's the GOAT. So he calls LeBron the GOAT, but Michael Jordan has more accomplishments. Like Eddie Murphy said in Coming to America, ha ha, aha. This is where your lie comes into place. It's the exact same argument. Magic Johnson's resume is better than Steph Curry's resume. This is coming from a Steph fan, bro. Like, there's no way of you saying Steph is better than Magic Johnson when Magic Johnson has a better resume. So his confliction isn't what he's about to say. His confliction is he champions LeBron James, but he's using that same argument for Magic Johnson that he often uses against Michael Jordan.
I am not at all conflicted on this, but I also see a problem with what I believe.
Oh.
He had that backwards.
So Magic Johnson is the greatest point guard of all time, and I do not think it is particularly close.
Huh?
So okay.
Same thing he said about Michael Jordan and LeBron James, right?
Okay. And you said the resumes. I just want to quickly show a different look at the resumes, which is top of the line accomplishments. First team All NBAs 9-4. Top 3 MVP finishes 9-3. MVPs 3-2. Finals appearances 9-6. Titles 5-4. Finals MVPs 3-1. Keep in mind.
Now, obviously, him and Shannon's thing has always been the first team All NBAs and the finals appearances. Note, he did mention finals appearances. But when it comes up to Michael Jordan and LeBron James, it's kind of the inverse. LeBron James has what? I think it's like 18 All NBAs. And it's like maybe 10 top 3 NBA finishes, NBA MVP finishes. And he has 4 MVPs, 4 finals MVPs, 4 titles, and 4 so and so. But Michael Jordan has the 6 for 6. He has the 5 MVPs, 10 scoring titles. I think he has like 13 All NBA selections. And he has the 9 All Defensive. Note he didn't put defensive because Magic and Steph aren't defensive players. Never is noted as defensive players. But his argument is often being, and Shannon is always often being the first team. He has more first team All NBAs. But when it comes to this argument, he can't use that because if he used that, he has to say Steph is a GOAT. But now he can't. He's caught between a rock and a hard place in this argument.
Magic played 12 years before being diagnosed with HIV. So 75% of his seasons, he went to the finals, was top 3 in the MVP, and was first team All.
Same thing kind of applies to Michael Jordan, right? He really played 13 full seasons, not counting the injury years or injury year and the year he came back. It's like 13 real seasons. And he went 6 for 6 in the NBA Finals, so more than 50%, or close to 50% of the time, he went to the NBA Finals and won the NBA Finals.
NBA. He is the greatest point guard ever.
But if you do it like LeBron, it's the same thing, but with appearances. It's not wins, it's with appearances.
With that said, Brew, every time we do one of those, create your best 5-man roster possible, and it's like Jordan's the shooting guard, LeBron's the small forward.
Boom! Got him.
We argue about the center. I always am like, Magic's better, but I'd make Steph my point guard. How do I
with Jordan and LeBron?
Well, no, but you understand what I mean? Like, Magic is the greatest point guard ever, and on the greatest team ever, I would pick Steph. And so those things seem in conflict.
Yep.
But you have to respect what Magic did, and to respect the fact that the young kids don't know. Magic, the last game he played in before being diagnosed with HIV was in the NBA Finals. Right. And it was, by the way, look at that roster on the 91 Lakers. They took the NBA Finals. Not great. Not like it was.
It wasn't great, but it wasn't as bad as everybody makes it out to be. He still had James Worthy and Byron Scott, and he had a Vlade Divac. Vlade Divac wasn't an all-time great center, but he was still a good center.
Terrible, but Kareem was long gone and not great. So it's Magic, but it's weird because I understand.
He has to say that because he hates Michael Jordan. The Lakers team was still, I hate that argument. You don't make it to the finals unless you have a good team, unless you have like a weird trip to the finals like this last season's was, or like those shortened seasons. Like unless you have those like borderline asterisk type seasons. But the Nuggets still won the championship and give them all due respect. But he wants to say that because he can't give Jordan for that credit for that first NBA championship.
Then what Steph said?
Yeah, I mean, I agree that it's Magic. All right, but for the sake of discussion, I think there's an argument for Steph. You put up the.
That's what. It's really a diet LeBron James Michael Jordan argument that they have, and it's a new way for them. Now this is their new LeBron James Michael Jordan argument because the argument has gotten bored and tired and played out. So now this is going to be the argument for the rest of the NBA season coming up, and for the rest of the football season. This is their basketball topic going into the next NBA season. The Steph and Magic Johnson argument.
Resumes, obviously, Magic's is better. But the argument for...
It's the exact same argument.
Steph, one, they both changed the game. Arenas, if you listen to the podcast, said, everybody's trying to be Steph now, which is true, but everybody was trying to be Magic.
No, they weren't. I wish... Sometimes these analysts show they really have basic level basketball analysis. Like their take sometimes borders on like childish. Like his better argument could have been Magic Johnson took the NBA Finals from being on tape delay to live. It could be because before that they had always had it on tape delay. People could watch it the next day, but after that Finals, it went from being that to tape to live. Sporting events.
Hardaway, 6'7" point guard who was headed toward the Hall of Fame before injury. Grant Hill, 6'8" guy that played a lot of point guard.
Grant Hill was more like Scottie Pippen.
All right. LeBron James.
That's right.
Yeah.
LeBron James is more like Scottie Pippen or Oscar Robertson. He is not like Magic Johnson. I wish they stopped making an argument. He's an Oscar Robertson 2.0 is what LeBron James is. He plays nothing like Magic Johnson.
Chris Webber's even talked about how seeing Magic at 6'9" do what he did made big guys want to step away from the basket. That's one. Steph changed the game.
Bill Walton was a good passer at center. Y'all never bring it up.
More though. Only unanimous MVP ever. I know he shouldn't be, but he is. He's the only unanimous. But here's the real stuff. One, he built Golden State into a dynasty from scratch. They had made the playoffs one time in 18.
But that was my topic for today. The blatant hypocrisy of Nick Wright. Nobody else caught it on that panel, but I caught it because he's an interesting character, Nick Wright. He couldn't make his usual arguments because it's the exact same argument that he makes for LeBron James. This time he had to make it against him to kind of like save that little bit of room for Steph, and he like kind of has this thing against Steph and the Golden State Warriors, so it was kind of interesting to see him do that.